But the people that are actually getting invaded, you know, the people that are the oppressed in this situation, they're the bad guys because they call the guys that are, you know, invading them and killing their families and calling them animals that only understand, you know, being shelled into oblivion, killing their mothers, wives, fathers, brothers. That's the only way that these animals could possibly understand because they don't understand anything human. Meanwhile, oh no, here they called them orcs. Shut the up. Shut the up. You're actually a dog. All right, Vaush said something stupid.
Ukraine's kick out.
How long is this? Okay, it's only 11 minutes long. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Okay.
Gas 3rd Assault Brigade have today captured dozens of... Guys, do not give me updates on the Russia-Ukraine war where they refer to Russians as orcs. Are you f***ing kidding me? I should find the person who linked this and ban them. Are you f***ing joking me? Are you kidding me?
Vaush has dropped off hard. His numbers are down huge. I don't know about that. I think that his crew is just like totally fine with the lolicon and the pedophilia. I think they're totally cool with it, man. You asked how did I know that your current account is you and not, you know, anyways. I think that Vaush's channel is doing just fine. I mean, if we go to his Social Blade. Vaush, Social Blade. Hello? There we go. Oh, he's down some subscribers for the past 30 days. What did he say on Friday last week that lost him 1,000? Wait, when was this recorded? Of course it doesn't say. Well, this might have been that day because this was published on the 16th on this second channel. It's conceivable that it was published on, or like he said this on Friday, but whatever. According to Social Blade, Vaush won't hit 500K before 2030? No. Monthly gained video views for Vaush. Damn, he really... Oh, that's a pretty rough drop right there. Jesus Christ. Minus 18,000 subscribers because of that drama. Dropped 2.5 million video views per month because of it. Future projections. No, hold on. He'll hit 500,000 in March of 2029. Aren't goblins a JQ thing? Not in this context. Yeah, I don't think it hurt him that bad, like all things considered, because he's still going to be a rich socialist sitting in his house telling everyone that everything the Democrats do is bad unless they're moving towards socialism until the day he dies or until he's killed or kills himself. I don't think that he's going to stop doing this. Alrighty. Let's watch.
Ukraine's kick-ass 3rd Assault Brigade have today captured dozens of... Guys, do not give me updates on the Russia-Ukraine war where they refer to Russians as orcs. Are you f***ing kidding me? I should find the person who linked this and ban them. Are you f***ing joking me? Are you kidding me?
Oh no.
What does that mean? Use your head. Why not? Use your head. Is orc in this context a slur? Yeah, but my issue with it isn't that it's like racially insensitive, like as the word in its use or whatever. Like, think about it. Would you really trust any information coming from somebody who refers to the Russians as orcs? Like, use your head, man. Also, it's like they treat it like it's a race war. I'm really sorry, man. You know, Ukrainians and Russians, you two look the same to me.
Hold on. I mean, in general, I heard some drama about J.K. Rowling about it. That was like goblins who had stereotypical, like, Jewish features.
Nazis who all think the Ukrainians are Jewish, and you've got Ukrainian Nazis who all think the Russians are Jewish. I'm sorry, man. You're both sweaty, balding Slavic people to me, okay? Now go in the trenches. Get out there and settle your differences, which are very small.
What?
Sometimes it's good to do these bits once in a while because
Wait, I'm sorry.
once
Go
in a while...
back? Is he saying that the Ukrainians and the Russians don't have any differences?
Like, as the word in its use or whatever. Like, think about it. Would you really trust any information coming from somebody who refers to the Russians as orcs? Like, use your head, man. Also, it's like they treat it like it's a...
I don't know if that would change my assessment whatsoever, if I'm completely and totally 100% honest. I honestly have no idea if that would change my opinion whatsoever. Maybe it might put some You know what? I'll say this. I would probably put some amount of stock into it just because it'll like put a flag off in my head saying, hey, this is a little bit of a red flag for bias. But would I automatically discount anything that they say? Absolutely not. Just like no shot. I would think they're hyper partisan. Yeah. But like, I don't think that I would immediately discount the information.
Race war. I'm really sorry, man. You know, Ukrainians and Russians, you two look the same to me. You're not gonna race war your way out of this one. You've got Russian Nazis who all think the Ukrainians are Jewish, and you've got Ukrainian Nazis who all think the Russians are Jewish. I'm sorry, man. You're both sweaty, balding Slavic people to me, okay? Now go in the trenches. Get out there and settle your differences, which are very small.
What do you mean the differences are very small? Like Russia is an antagonistic force on the world stage that like is intentionally trying to upend the world order because they feel like it, because they want to. Meanwhile, the opposite end of that, the Ukrainians were just vibing and didn't want to be under the control of the Russians. How can you possibly say that the differences are small? They were like legit. The Ukrainians were just kind of chilling there, vibing, not doing anything aggressive to the Russians. And the Russians decided, you know what, maybe we'll do a little bit of an, maybe we'll do just a wee bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? Invasion, genocidal conquest as a treat. Both sides are calling each other Nazis as a proxy for fascists, forgetting that Jewish memes exist, or forgetting the Jewish memes exist. Wait, I don't know what that means. Oh, 1 second. Gotta answer the... Hello? I chose something from the wrong menu. Okay, what do we want? It doesn't have the price for anything. Why? There we go.
Sometimes it's good to do these bits once in a while because every once in a while some Ukrainian nationalist will go on some tirade about how actually ethnically the Ukrainian people are descendant from like the heavens or whatever, and Russians are all pig people, and it's just a nice reminder that Nazi is.
Well, I'm sorry. Is being mad at someone invading you like that big of a deal that you're like willing to compare them to the people invading them for saying mean things about them?
Actually, ethnically, the Ukrainian people are. They do these bits once in a while because every once in a while some Ukrainian nationalist will go on some tirade about how actually ethnically the Ukrainian people are descendant from like the heavens or whatever, and Russians are all pig people, and it's just a nice reminder that Nazism is a problem everywhere. Yeah, I see you fucking Banderites.
That's so stupid. I'm so sorry. It is so numbskull, knuckle dragging, empty brained analysis of why someone, oh, well, I guess these guys are being mean to people who are Russian because they're Nazis, and Nazis called people pig people as well. So therefore Nazis, like, my God, Ukrainians have a legitimate reason to be upset at Russian soldiers entering their country.
Happy birthday, Rikande, then. Guys, don't defend the orc thing. Come on. It's definitely not a race thing, though. It's a behavior thing about Russian soldiers. Am I like racing back? Yeah, NAFO dogs the fuck out. It's about their behavior. Then use any one of the billion terms that you can use to refer to people who do war crimes. Rather than orc, a term which is like literally you're a different race. That's literally the term.
Let me be like super upfront and super open and honest. I have never heard someone refer to another human being as an orc. It's just not something that is commonly said around me personally. I also, at the same time, don't think that if I heard someone say, hey, this guy is an orc because he invaded my country, or we're treating them like orcs in Lord of the Rings, right? Like they're ontologically evil or whatever. These invaders into our country. I probably just like wouldn't give that much of a probably wouldn't read too deeply into it, because they're probably really mad that like their houses are getting bombed, and the like orcish behavior of the guys that are shooting bombs at them are probably not making them very happy about it, right?
Like that, it's like a billion fucking things you could say that aren't that, and to pretend that there's no like overlap between like racial or nationalist, dogma and the use of the term or. Come on. Come on.
Come on,
Literally,
man.
like, you're not even human. You're a different type of person. Barbarian is defensible. Barbarians are human. Sure, go for that one if you want to. I've said they're barbarous. Go for it. Yeah. But like let's be real here. If you go on Twitter right now and you find the people who are like using the term orc over and over again, it's 100% either like someone who unironically spends a little bit too much time defending the Azov Battalion, or 13-year-old Western non-credible defense guys who jerk themselves off raw to like grainy video footage of Nyx being obliterated by drone strikes, Yeah, it shows you where their principles are, Smerk, too. I'm not defending it, but why would Vaush, of all people, be opposed to calling people orcs when he says that all the time? When do I call Russians orcs? When do I do that? I say lots of things about lots of people. I don't...
You literally dehumanize people on a regular basis for the sin of disagreeing with you. On a regular basis. Here, one second. We're going to have to fix some stuff on this. But like he calls like all conservatives just like demons wearing human skin. How are you going to sit here and defend the idea that like you shouldn't dehumanize people when that's like your entire political project? That's your entire stream persona is dehumanizing the opposition. And I'm pretty sure you've gotten into controversy about this before, Vaush, and you've defended that. So why is this different? I fail to see what the significant difference is in calling Russians orcs who are like invading someone's literal home. Yeah, I just fail to see what the actual issue is.
Broadly refer to members of an entire nation as orcs. I don't do that. I say that like the Hitlerite particles, but that's a criticism of their beliefs and ideology. I don't do that. Hogs? Sometimes I've called conservatives hogs, but that's not me saying that they're like, that's like hog, that's like a common cop refrain, like pigs. That's not literally like they're not people. It's a reuse or a recontextualization of centuries old class dynamicism. When you call the bourgeoisie pigs, you're not literally like dehumanizing them. That's not how the rhetoric is employed. It's just like an animalization or what is it?
A dehumanization, maybe?
No, it's the opposite of an anthropomorphization. It's obviously not the same.
But you have no like real reason to believe that?
I don't know about that one, Chief. I mean, I don't need to argue with you. I have the like incredible power of just banning people.
Oh, that's true.
If you really
Vaush,
think
have that power.
that like Azov jerking off Twitter accounts, calling every Russian an orc is the same as like saying cops are pigs or the bourgeoisie are pigs, you can just like leave the chat.
Yeah, they are like actually kind of the same in like the sense that you're dehumanizing people. But I think it's okay to dehumanize people who are invading your country and like blowing away, your sisters, your brothers, your fathers, your mothers, your cousins. I think that like at that point, I probably don't have that much of a problem with someone saying, hey, these people are acting a little bit like orcs. Vaush doesn't listen to himself talk. Well, I don't listen to myself talk either, but that doesn't mean that that if he heard himself talk, it would change his opinion any. He's not even like pro-Russian is the problem. So you could say that this is a principled stance against dehumanizing people, but you can't even say that because he is not principally against dehumanizing people because he does it all the time.
I don't care. I'm not going to argue with an unreasonable position from someone acting disingenuously. I'm not going to pretend that your position is like worth attacking a class position or a job with like a historical allegory to a pig, like someone who is greedy. Like,
wait, I don't think that they're calling the Russian soldiers orcs because they're greedy. I don't think that that's where they're going with it, Vaush. I think they're calling them orcs because they're invading their country and shooting missiles and sieging their cities and taking over territory like orcs do in those movies and in those different fantasy settings. I mean, this is the guy that knows so much about goblins down to their build in porn But he doesn't know that people dehumanize. Like, I don't
Like,
fucking...
who eats up all the money? That's comparable to referring to a whole nation of people as orcs? Come on. Holy shit. You guys read way the too much NAFO shit, man. I'm really sorry. What is NAFO? Keep that energy. Never learn. I'm sorry, I thought the tweet was about soldiers, not Russians in general. It's ambiguously employed. And I also don't think it
ambiguity. The place where Vaush loves to live in. 1 second. We might have to double time this, guys. I'll have to get off pretty soon.
It leads you to very good opinions. Like a lot of the Russian soldiers are just conscripts. Yeah, a lot of them act monstrously, but it's a product of material conditions, social circumstances. You know? I don't think you're getting anything out of that, like, that mentality. Dehumanizing rhetoric is like, I mean, I'm not going to pretend that I'm above it all or whatever, you know. I've thrown out some zesty ones to be sure, but I really take issue with these, like, normalized trend in a conflict of like, oh yeah, those are the orcs or whatever, you know. It's not just like referring to them euphemistically in like a specific circumstances too, right? It's not like, oh, at Bucha, like they were like orcs slaughtering people or whatever. It's not like in a specific circumstance. It's just like in general for...
Well, that's because, yes, they were orcish then too, but like, let's be ultra clear. Orcish, it can be applied to like literally every single thing that they've done in the entirety of the invasion. Why is nobody transporting that? No, that's not what I wanted.
Years now, just their orcs. And yeah, the vibes are off, man. Bro, don't pretend they don't intend there to be like, this is some new iteration of Clean Wehrmacht. I'm not entirely sure what you mean, XKCKQ. Who's doing the Clean Wehrmacht thing? So when you said it was in specific circumstances, everything that I do is a specific circumstance. That's how circumstances work. What are you trying to gotcha? You're trying...
You said all conservatives are demons wearing human skins. And then you told people that they should arm themselves so that they can take pot shots at them out of their apartment windows into their big trucks. Someone give me that clip. Someone give me the clip of Vaush saying that he wants people to get guns and take pot shots at conservatives from their windows. Oh, but that was just like a specific circumstance referring to like a specific event from conservatives. Watch short by iron and content suggestions. All right, we got to do this pretty quick. All right, guys. Not too much extra stuff. Okay, so let me make this big because it's going to have... Or actually, not that big, because I want you guys to be able to read the...
Вопрос. Почему мы ведем себя по отношению к животным, которые...
Why do we treat animals that are shelling our cities? Here, let's do it like this.
Обстреливают наши города, но так, как будто признаем за нормальных людей. Вот по большому счету мы же отлично знаем, допустим, какая артиллерийская бригада сейчас работает по Белгороду, чьи вампиры. Понимаешь? Ну вот сделайте 2 раза предупреждение, знаешь, как раньше любят, там 2 раза предупредили, 3-й раз выполнили, что по пункту постоянной дислокации этой бригады будет нанесено полное огневое поражение. Там, где у них жены, дети, мамы, папы, где вся их вот эта вот свора живет, понимаешь? И если они в итоге еще раз обстреляли Белгород, то ломите хорошенечко так кассетными боеприпасами и превратите этот военный городок в пустыню. Ну, по крайней мере, тогда уже будет очень четко и понятно, что за все надо отвечать. Понимаешь? Потому что вот по-другому с ними же никак. Вот, это же животные, которые просто не способны ничего воспринимать такого, что, в общем, является человеческим.
Oh, no, but the people that are actually getting invaded, you know, the people that are the oppressed in this situation, they're the bad guys because they call the guys that are, you know, invading them and killing their families and calling them animals that only understand, you know, being shelled into oblivion, killing their mothers, wives, fathers, brothers. That's the only way that these animals could possibly understand because they don't understand anything human. Meanwhile, oh no, here they call them orcs. Shut the up. Shut the up. You're actually a dog, like, less than human piece of... I don't know how else to say it. You're actually like subhuman yourself. You are an orc. If you can't understand where the mentality comes from.
to gotcha me for? Why don't you, instead of trying to like, you're saying like this you, and it's like a picture of me being beautiful, like handsome Squidward.
Oh, speaking of how Vaush talks about conservatives, they are liars, fascists, demons, inhuman. They want to put you in a death camp. They want you dead. He claims Republicans will kill you if they lose in 2024.
With like all of them, basically. Again, they're all liars. None of them believe anything. They're fascists. They don't believe in truth. They're anti-empiricists. They're demons. They're inhuman. They want to put you in a death camp. They want you dead. You know,
I can't believe. This isn't even the same clip, is it?
we are literally talking about conservatives defending their insurrectionary attempt. I mean, this is beer hall putsch, right? Like, what stakes get higher than fascists running for election telling you the last time they attempted to seize power violently, you know, we'll get you next time. It's pretty straightforward. How would the Republicans even win post-Blexus? Well, they'll kill you. That was their last plan. They didn't win in 2020, and their strategy after that was to, you know, kill the opposition, seize power, and put forward a Trump dictatorship. You know, as long as again, you can do stuff like that.
That's not even the clip that I was thinking about, but it does illustrate exactly what I was talking about. It's like,
instead, why don't you try to focus on like what I'm saying? You know, you're never going to understand anything in life if all you're doing is trying to find gotchas in people's positions by like ineptly comparing one thing to another thing and not understanding the broader point between them. What are you even referring to? Do you remember a specific instance of me saying that Russians are orcs? Like, or what are you comparing it to? Some vague idea?
how about the clip that we just watched, Vaush, from like a month and a half ago?
A half memory? An illusion? A ghost? A ghoul? Calm it down. Isn't that what debating is? To a lot of people, yes. If a Palestinian called the IDF orcs, we would defend that? No. No, I really wouldn't. I've said a lot of shit about the IDF, and you'll notice that I tend to avoid that rhetoric. Again, I'm not going to pretend I'm perfect. I say a lot of shit. I'm talking about a broader tendency. I don't know why you're trying to do the whataboutism to defend it, man. Like, what's the obsession with calling Russians orcs? Call them a million other bad things. Like, seriously.
What's the obsession with calling the invaders orcs? Or defending defending the invaders from being called orcs?
It's not that hard. Well, if they're settlers, also 47. The IDF is also...
The Russians are literally on a conquest of territory. They are going to be definitionally occupiers, settlers in Ukraine. The entirety of Crimea has been resettled once again by Russians.
Made up of conscripts. It's not about whether or not they're conscripts. It's that the only reason you would use orc is if you're trying to dehumanize. And I just think that tends to lead to bad analysis. You can insult a group of people, Hitlerite, lunatics, war crime loving, bloodthirsty, all terms that I've used. They're all mean. Warranted, I think, given the behavior of the IDF and the Russian military. I just don't like the orc thing. I only remember you calling the Russian army orcs. I genuinely don't remember doing that. If I did, okay. I don't know what that has to do with what I'm saying right now. I've streamed thousands of hours. I'm sure I've said lots of stuff. Can you understand the point I'm making now? If I said that before, then I disagree with it now. Is that what you want? Sure. Like, do you think that invalidates a point? Little do you know, 3 years ago, in a moment of frustration, you said this. Okay, that was bad then. What do you want from me? Jesus, that Vaush doesn't exist anymore. I am alive now. I'm saying this now. Who is Vaush? I'm condemning this person. Yeah, I think dehumanizing rhetoric just leads to really bad analysis for the most part. I think you called US cops orcs, not the Russians. Do you think that's better? Well, for one, that's a profession, not like, I don't know, the other army. For two, I don't remember saying that. I tend to say hogs or pigs. For three, yeah, I do think that's better. There's not like a broader racial/national movement concerned with discriminating against that group, whereas there are literally like massive swaths of Ukrainians who absolutely would like exacerbate this as a fundamental ethnic conflict rather than a national one. None of this applies to the police. You can just...
Who started that? Who started that? Putin literally stated this was going to be I'm having a stroke. I'm having a stroke. I must be having a stroke. I must be. It can't be real.
Stop being...
Like every single schizophrenic...
a cop, you know? Like, the problem here is people exacerbating this into a greater ethnic conflict, which ideally you should prevent this, if at all possible. And even then, I don't remember saying that, man. Why are you... Is it like you think I've had a delectable little treat and you're trying to like... You're like, well, why did your mom let you have 2 hot dogs? I know you've called cons orcs, but that's deserved. Okay, fine. I'll go off on all you, okay? This is one of the reasons why I don't do debates anymore. None of you think. You put no effort into engaging with a broader idea, not even a modicum of good faith. You're not even debating against me, motherfucker. You're in my chat. This isn't a competition. A lot of you don't put the effort in. You don't think, what point is being made? Are there contradictions? Oftentimes there are. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. Sometimes I say one thing, but I mean another. Sometimes I misspeak entirely. Sometimes I just do things that I will later disagree with. I don't pretend to be perfect. I would never ask any of you to think of me that way, but it is a little bit frustrating when I'm making what I think is a pretty clear and simple point against dehumanization, and people in chat are acting like, well, actually, in a July 2022 VOD, you claimed, I don't care. I don't. And your obsession with that as like a metric for opposing what I'm saying now is intellectually dishonest. It's silly. Don't
You've
you
been
earn
intellectually
actually?
outpaced.
It betrays an unwillingness to engage with the point. You're my roommate. You never wash your damn dishes. They stink up the sink. I point at it and I say, hey, you know, man, you should wash your dishes. You know, we share this household. We should both put some effort in. And you say, 7 months ago, there was a 3-day period during which you left a bowl that you had eaten chili out of in the sink. You didn't even rinse it out. It smelled bad. What about that? And to this, my response is, find a new roommate. I am evicting you. Get out of my house. Get out of my house. I hate you. Leave. Yeah, I know that guy. Yeah, I know that guy too because he's in my chat. And there are multiple of him. Just call them Hitlerites like Zelensky just did, Lamau. Yeah, there you go.
I can't believe that Vaush has fallen so far as to like die on the hill that we should never dehumanize political opposition as a principle, even if they're invading our home, even if they are being objectively evil towards everything that we know and love. Like, I don't even know how to respond to that. The editor should be fired. They're probably scraping the bottom of the barrel trying to get literally anything worth bringing up on stream. Well, welcome. For people that are new, if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on Kick, I'm Sansol. I am a political science student. I like to talk about politics. I like to argue about politics. We talk about all sorts of fun things on here like drama and politics. And I like to argue with people in chat about a lot of different things. Like, comment, and subscribe. I don't like to shill all